check in.
Together with Jalen Jacoby, what is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
Well, if the people wanted to see the Nets and the Lakers play a basketball game in China, that's exactly what they got. They played basketball in China, Jalen Rose. Before we get to the actual game, what does the fact that there was a game tell you about the ongoing turmoil between the NBA and China?
It furthers what I said on this show about Adam Silver having the ability to represent his beliefs as an American citizen, yet forge relationships with China in this case to navigate a situation that went from canceling events, taking down promotions, to everybody wondering basically up until tip time if a game was going to happen, and a game happened with fans in the stands. So this was a terrific amount of progress that he made in a short period of time.
I have to echo that and say I did not believe that this game was going to happen, and it does reflect the work of Adam Silver and the people that work with him and their diplomatic ability to make this game actually happen, and I'm so happy that it did. But now let's turn our attention to the actual game. Listen, you know me, I'm a media guy, Jalen. I'm going to overreact to preseason results. That's what I'm going to do because I don't have anything else. I will say this, the Nets beat the Lakers in an actual basketball contest. Does that mean that the Nets might be better than we think they are?
You do know during that game that Kyrie Irving got elbowed in his nose.
I saw it.
Okay. And probably is going to be wearing a mask, should be a la Rip Hamilton as the season progressed. Spencer Dinwiddie, was great to see him play quality minutes. Karis LeVert, I keep telling people, is going to have a breakout season. And anybody that watches this show, I know when I was like Taurean Prince, people were like, huh? I spent a lot of time in Atlanta and at Hawks games. He can really shoot the three. He's going to provide quality minutes for them. And yes, the Nets, along with 5 other teams, I believe are locks in the East. The Pacers, the Celtics, the Sixers, the
Bucks.
The Bucks. They all stand to me to guarantee be playoff teams. But they're not on the Lakers level. The Lakers are contending for an NBA championship with 2 of the top 5 players in the game, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So I know you get enthusiastic and die easy about results and about preseason games. Don't do that in this situation.
Jalen, I have not even started to show you how enthusiastic and overreacting I can be about preseason games. Because did you see what Zion Williamson did last night? Zion. This gentleman was 12 for 13 from the field. He missed one single shot. Finished with the right, finished with the left, spinning dunk. Jalen, I'm going to do the media thing and overreact to this. This has only been 2 games, but the 2 games have brought us so many highlights, such an impressive performance from Williamson. He even had some nice assists in this game. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say that he is a guaranteed, surefire superstar that we will be talking about on this program for 13 or 14 years to come. What do you think from what you've seen from Mr. Williamson?
So I know you don't like follow-up questions, but this one's in your wheelhouse, so I'm going to give you a second to think about it. Do you believe Timothy Duncan is a superstar?
No.
Okay. See, that's where the fork in the road happens between you and I's views, and you go straight. To me, a superstar has 2 things, not just one. The ability to win because we have you, like we've seen some of the best players of all time do. Magic and Bird, Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille and Kobe, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. Those to me are superstars. We're going to win and or be in the finals because we got you. And then there are those that are box office, like an Allen Iverson, for example, who can get his team to the finals but not necessarily win the championship, but we all recognize his greatness. So you're basically feeling like Zion has that ability. Yes. I do too, but there's still some things he has to improve. But I want to give him credit on one thing that nobody ever talks about about his game that unlocks the floor for him.
What's that?
Zion got a handle. Got a handle. So between the legs, behind the back, it ain't loose, it ain't wide, and it's efficient. Look at that.
Yep.
And so
it finishes
now
with both
all
hands,
of a sudden, you're moving like a small guy, but right there, you're finishing doing a 180 like a large guy. And here's another thing that people should start talking about Zion's game. Dominique Wilkins' 50-inch vertical, one of my favorite leapers of all time, always jumped off 2 feet. Michael Jordan, terrific leaper, could kiss the rim off 2 feet, but also jump from the free throw line with one hand. Zion can jump off 2 and off 1, but he can do it with both hands.
Yep.
He's almost ambidextrous.
He is.
Now all of a sudden, you're going to make 11 of your 12 shots within 2 feet of the rim because he's going to be an amazing finisher in a game where now he has more space to operate.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the box office draw and sort of the superstardom. There's superstars that will fill the season, superstars that will fill the stat sheet and the win column. But take a look at these stats from Zion. The difference when he's on the court and off the court for the Pelicans. The points per play goes up. Field goal percentage goes way up. Now, again, I know this is just a very, very small sample size, but what does that indicate of his impact on the game for the Pelicans?
Well, his impact is terrific. He has an unselfish flair to his game. When you're running on a 2-on-1 break, he casually bounces it to Lonzo because he knows he's going to get it back for the lob. He's driving to the basket. Us lefties like to spin back to our right shoulders. He's going to find the shooter in the corner. But also, he's playing against the best players in the world. So here's what's next. Because as an analyst, you got to also see the landscape of everything. He has to improve his shot. Like all young players have weaknesses. That's something not only from mid-range, but from the free throw line and from 3. Also, he has to be a guy that can defend his position. You put a lot of stats up there. You know what you didn't put up there as somebody that watched and covered the entire game? His plus minus. Because they were losing by 20 when he was in the game. In the fourth quarter, they came back when he was on the bench and actually won the game. So there is some levels to improvement, but it should be. It's only a second preseason game.
So, Jalen, you said that all young players have holes in their game they need to improve. But I challenge you on that. 2 young players in the same team are pretty well-rounded, and that is Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. I kind of forgot about Kristaps Porzingis because I haven't seen him play for so long, but they played together last night against your Pistons, and they looked really good. Kristaps was out there hitting threes. Like, look at that. That's a 7-footer right there. Jalen, I don't know if this is going to be a contending team, but they might be a playoff team, but they're definitely on my league pass list. What did you see from KP and Luka?
International snipers. And as somebody that played with the Pacers and Rick Carlisle was our associate coach, I know he enjoys the pace and space style of game, in particular with 2 guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot. And both of those guys are tall for their position. Luka's 6'7". He ain't no little guy. Porzingis is 7'3" that can also block shots. They're going to be a modern-day version of what you saw from Steve Nash as he was playing in Phoenix and what you saw from Dirk when he was in his prime with Dallas. So that's why Mark Cuban, I'm sure, was sitting back saying, man, I let Nash go, and he went on to have that level of success. I'm going to pair these 2 guys together and get them before they enter their prime.
Jalen, it is now time for some very important news that matters. My guy, Jacoby Brissett, fresh off a win against the Chiefs, is back in the news. And now, wait a second, he put this on Instagram, and Tom Brady dissed my guy Jacoby. Love those pants. Did they have any that fit you? Jalen, is Tom Brady okay to go after my guy Jacoby Brissett because of those pants?
No question. That's his young boy. Remember, there was a Patriot quarterback room that featured Tom Brady, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jacoby Brissett. One of those guys is undefeated playing for the 49ers, and they gave him a $100+ million deal after 7 games. Jacoby Brissett started the season potentially playing behind Andrew Luck. Now he's the starter and doing really well. So if he was not playing and holding the clipboard, Tom Brady wouldn't have done that. But since they're playing well and he's doing well, of course you want to give your guy some love.
Of course, I never support Jacoby slander ever, but I will say this. The NFL did something that both you and I do not agree with. We will tell you what that is right after this.